Jacob and Esau regarding the birthright. The firstborn was Esau. Watch what happens. And Rebekah heard when Isaac spoke to Esau, his son, and Esau went to the field to hunt for venison to bring it. And Rebekah, the Syrian, and we're going to find out the relations between, we know that they're brothers and sisters, and Rebekah spoke unto Jacob, her son, saying, Behold, I heard thy father speaking to Esau, thy brother, saying, Bring me venison, and make me savory meat, that I may eat, and bless you before Yahuah, because again, Esau is the oldest, before my death. Now therefore, my son, obey my voice, according to which I command you. This is where the sneakiness and the conniving and the manipulation begins to come into place. We first see it with Jacob, now we're going to see it with Rebekah, where she begins to take advantage of her husband, her Ish, Isaac, when he was about to die, and he was not able to see. Now therefore, my son, obey my voice according to which I command thee. Go down to the field and fetch me thence 2 good kids of the goats, and I will make them savory meat for your father, which he loved. And thou shalt bring it to thy father, that he may eat, and that he may bless you before his death. This is all about birthright. Before his death. And Jacob said to Rebekah his mother, Behold, Esau my brother is a hairy man, and I am a smooth man. My father peradventure will fill me, that's verse 12, my father peradventure will fill me, and I shall seem to him as a deceiver, as an adversary, and I will bring a curse upon me and not a blessing. This thing is getting real serious here. And the mother said unto him, watch this, upon me be your curse, my son. Only obey my voice, and go fetch me them. And he went and fetched and brought to his mother, and his mother made savory meat, such as his father loved. And Rebekah took goodly raiment of her eldest son Esau, which were in the house, and put them upon Jacob, her youngest son. We see how the manipulation and the cunningness and how the adversary is working here. Because the father already gave the prophecy. He said that the older, which is Esau, is going to serve Jacob, which is the youngest. Watch what begins to happen now, because we have curses now involved in the picture. As Rebekah has said, and as Jacob has said. And Jacob, verse 16. Okay. And she put the skins of the kids of the goats upon his hands and upon the smooth of his neck. And she gave the savory meat and the bread which she had prepared into the hands of her son Jacob. And he came to his father and said, My father. He said, Here I am. Isaac says, Who are you? My son. And Jacob said unto his father, I am Esau. Jacob lied to his father. I am Esau, your firstborn. I have done according as thou hast badest me. Arise, I pray thee, sit and eat of my venison, that your soul may bless me. Isaac is beginning to get a little suspicious here. And Isaac said unto his son, How is it that you have found it so quickly, my son? And Jacob said, Because Yahuah, your Elohim, had brought it into me. So he's starting to bring in a whole lot of stuff into the picture here. He's even bringing the father himself into the picture. His mother is lying, Jacob is lying, and he's now bringing in the father in this scheme that he's trying to do now in tricking his father. And Isaac said unto Jacob, Come near, because something's not right here. Come near, I pray thee, that I may fill thee, my son, whether thou be my very son Esau or not. And Jacob went near to Isaac his father, and he felt him and said, The voice is Jacob's voice, but the hands are the hands of Esau. And he discerned him not, because his hands were hairy, as his brother Esau's hands were. So he blessed him. So he did bless him. And he said, Art thou my very son Esau? Which is the question. And he said, I am. So Isaac, he was like, something's going on here. And he said, bring it near to me, and I will eat of my son's venison, that my soul may bless you. And he brought it near to him, and he did eat, and he brought him wine, and he drank. And his father Isaac said unto him, come near now, and kiss me, my son. And he came near and kissed him, and he smelled the smell of his raiment, and he blessed him. And he said, see, the smell of my son is as the smell of a field, which Yahuah hath blessed. Therefore Elohim gave thee of the dew of the heaven, and the fatness of the earth, and the plenty of corn and wine. Let people serve you, and nations bow down to you. Be a sovereign over your brethren, and let your mother's sons bow down to thee. Cursed be everyone that cursed you, and blessed be he that blessed you. And it came to pass, as Isaac had made an end of blessing Jacob, so we see now the fulfillment of his name as being a supplanter, and Jacob was yet scarce, going out from the presence of Isaac his father. That Esau his brother came in from his hunting, and he also had made savory meat, and brought it into his father, and said unto his father, let my father arise and eat of his son's venison, that your soul may bless me. And Isaac's like, yeah, and Isaac his father said to him, who are you? And he said, I am thy son, thy firstborn. So this firstborn thing keeps coming up because it's all about the blessing. And Isaac said his father, verse 33. Okay, and Isaac trembled very exceedingly and said, is he that hath taken venison and brought it me, and I have eaten all before thou camest, and have blessed him? Yes, he shall be blessed. And when Esau heard the words of his father, he cried with a great and exceedingly bitter cry, and said unto his father, bless me even also, O my father. Firstborn blessings are very important. And he said, thy brother came with subtlety, supplanting, and have taken away your blessing. And he said, watch this now. And he said, is not he rightly named Jacob? For he hath supplanted me these 2 times. He took away my birthright, and now he hath taken away my blessing. And he said, hast thou not reserved a blessing for me? And Isaac answered and said unto Esau, behold, I have made him your sovereign, and all his brethren have I given to him for servants, and with corn and wine have I sustained him. And what shall I do now unto you, my son? And Esau said unto his father, hast thou but one blessing, my father? Bless me, even also, O my father. And Esau lifted up his voice and wept. And Isaac his father answered and said unto him, behold, your dwelling shall be the fatness of the earth, and of the dew of heaven from above. And by the sword thou shalt live, and shalt serve your brother. And it shall come to pass, when thou shalt have the dominion, thou shalt break his yoke from off your neck. And Esau hated Jacob because of the blessing, wherefore his father blessed him. And Esau said in his heart, the days of mourning for my father are at hand. Then I will slay my brother Jacob. And these words of Esau, her eldest son, were told to Rebekah, and she went and called Jacob, her youngest son, and said unto him, behold, your brother Esau, as touching you, doeth comfort himself, proposing to kill you, Jacob. Now therefore, my son, obey my voice, arise and flee, or go and hide with Laban, my brother to Laban, and tarry with him a few days until your brother's fear return away, until your brother's anger turn away from you, and he forget which thou hast done to him. Then I will send and fetch thee from thence. Why should I be deprived also of you both in one day? And Rebekah said to Isaac, I am weary of my life because of the daughters of Heth. If Jacob take a wife of the daughters of Heth, such as these, which are of the daughters of the land, what good shall my life be to me? So, watch how this gets even more interesting. Genesis 32:22. Genesis, yes.
So if Rebecca didn't do what she did for Jacob, how was Esau going to serve? How was the elder going to serve the younger? How was that going to be fulfilled?
Watch. Let's go to Genesis 32 and 22. Let's see what we're able to gather from here. Genesis 22:32. We talking about Jacob here. And he arose and that night and took his 2 wives and his 2 women servants and his 11 sons and passed over the ford Jabbok. And he took them and sent them over the brook and sent over that he had. And Jacob was left alone. And there wrestled a man with him until the breaking of the day. And when he saw that he prevailed not against him, he touched the hollow of his thigh. And the hollow of Jacob's thigh was out of joint. And he wrestled with him. And he said, let me go, for the day breaketh. And he said, I will not let thee go, except thou bless me. And he said unto him, what is your name? And he said, Yaakov. And he said, thy name shall be called no more Yaakov, but Israel. For as a prince has thy power with Elohim and with men, and has prevailed. And Yaakov asked him and said, tell me, I pray thee, your name. And he said, wherefore is it that thou didst ask after my name? And he blessed him there. And Yaakov called the name of that place Peniel, for I have seen Elohim face to face, and my life is preserved. We're going to stop right there. What do you see with that story? What do you see now with that story in Genesis, the 27th chapter? Not you Something happened there, very, very interesting. Ezekiel, do you see anything happening between those 2 stories? The Genesis 25 story, the Genesis 27 story, and on the Bereshit, or the Genesis 32, 22 to 32? I did a lot of reading. The reason why I went all the way down from 27:1 to 46, I wanted everybody to follow along so that we would be able to catch this very, very important point that was going on in Genesis 25, Genesis 27 to 1 to 46, and now we're let's do it this way. We're going to make it a little bit easier. Go back to Genesis 25. Genesis 25, and I'm going to read. And we're going to answer Korah's question. 25, 22 to 23. And the children struggled together within her, Isaac and Jacob. And she said, if it be so, why am it thus? And she went to inquire of Yahuah, and Yahuah said unto her, 2 nations are in thy womb, and 2 manner of people shall be separate from the bowels. And the one people shall be stronger than the other people, and the elders shall serve the younger. Okay? Because of time restraints. In Genesis 25:25, we see a struggle, right? There's a struggle inside of the womb. Esau was the eldest. Jacob came out next. All of the betrayal and the manipulation, the lying that was going on between Rebekah and Jacob. We see something else happening now after Jacob leaves Laban. He meets a messenger. And guess what happens again? The wrestling starts again. So this time he's going to get the right blessing according to the way it was prophesied from the very beginning. He can no longer have that name Jacob as a supplanter, because Esau said, you supplanted me twice. There's nowhere in Scripture, like I said last week, that you can sell your birthright over a pottage of oxtails, beef stew, whatever it is that it might be. There's nowhere in Scripture. That's supplanting, that's thievery, that is nowhere in Scripture. And so this time it talks about now in the book of Genesis now, 32:23, it said that Jacob wrestled with this messenger, and he said, he didn't let the messenger go until you bless me. And he blessed them. He said, listen, your name should no longer be a supplanter. Your name should be Isaac, and we know your name should be Jacob. And Jacob means what? Israel now, because he changed his name from Jacob to Israel. So Israel means? Exactly. So he got his blessings down from the messenger. See how this thing works? You don't have to interfere when the father has it already laid out that the elder is going to serve the younger.
So Rebecca's faith, she didn't have any.
No, she didn't. She didn't. Because he already told her what was going to happen.
Right.
Already told her. So there's nothing that, whenever the father tells you to do something, you don't have to intervene as if the father can't do the job. This is the reason why we went into the whole scriptures before that the father is faithful. All right? Okay.
So, in that example, who are you saying intervened, Rebecca?
1 second. Correct.
So you're saying if Rebecca didn't do that, and Isaac would have gave Esau the blessing down the road, Jacob would have met the messenger, would have did the struggle, and he would have got the blessing.
What would have been interesting is that I don't find a scripture that the messenger was bound to come. But just dealing with the prophecy alone, the elder is going to serve the younger. And with the point I'm trying to get across here is that you don't have to intervene. But being that the promise was given, and we see now what was happening between Jacob and Rebekah, the father now steps in. He steps in now, and he's going to rightfully bless Jacob. Rightfully do this now because he did it now. He got that blessing from his father under false pretenses. We're talking about building a righteous seed, a righteous bloodline, because the laws went from Abraham, Isaac to Jacob. But to be more specific, Jacob got his blessing under the name of Israel and not Jacob, because the word Jacob means supplanter. So when the father now intervenes, I have to clear this up because the prophecy was already given. The father now steps in. Jacob wrestles with the messenger. The same struggle that was going on in the womb. Now guess what's going to happen now? You're going to also struggle now with the messenger. This whole thing is coming into play because the same trickery with firstborn rightship, Jacob did that to Esau, him and his mother. He's now being penalized again when he goes to Laban. Laban also does the same thing.
So he starts with nothing.
Yeah, exactly. You're just spinning your wheels. The father, again, is faithful in everything that he do. You don't have to intervene.
So...
one second, Moshe had a question.
I was actually, she asked the question I was going to ask, but now I know. So, the blessings that Jacob got from Isaac are not actually in effect, but the one that he got from the angel is.
Oh, absolutely, yes, absolutely. What I'm trying to say here now is that the birthright that situation was done through manipulation. The father now sends a messenger and he blesses Jacob properly. With this sign of the blessing, he changes his name. The same thing that happened with Abraham. Before Abraham was Abraham, his name was Abram. When the father now sees that, because Abraham was counted righteousness because of his faith. After he proved his faith, he changed his name to Abraham. The same thing happened with Sarah. So a lot of times when we see the Father intervening, whatever ill or bad record that you might have under that name, the Father will change that name. Even, how can I say this? Okay, your government name. In order to show now that you have a relationship with the Father, to show that you're a new person, you now have a Hebrew name. And this now new Hebrew name now is going to show your character, your mannerism, your behavior. So you're changed. Jacob's name was changed because he's now, he's learned his lesson. Because remember, they talked about curses here. And so that curse needed to be cleaned up. The Father cleaned that curse up. All right, and his name was changed to Israel.
No, you answered the Father sent the messenger to do what he did. You said it. You answered my question.
1 second. You can't see all that question.
So I think the other point is what happened to the birthright? If you can't sell it through pottage, or you
Right.
can't actually do that, what actually happened? I mean, I don't really see what the connection is, or what happened to it. It just whatever Isaac said to Jacob, it just didn't mean anything anymore because he got it through ill intentions and lying and trickery. But then Esau didn't get a blessing, so nobody really got blessed until.
Oh, Esau got a blessing.
So Esau did get a blessing,
Right.
but it wasn't the birthright blessing.
Exactly.
So what happened to the birthright blessing?
Jacob got it under the name of Israel.
Through the messenger.
Remember,
But okay.
Jacob has to prevail.
Mm-hmm.
Jacob has to prevail. We're Israel. Right now, we're the head. Let me say, we're the tail.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, we're not the head. So it's the same thing all over again. Is that the enemy, the adversary, is crushing the head of Israel, as it tells us in the book of Deuteronomy. If you don't follow the law, statutes, and commandments, you will no longer be the head, you will be the tail. So right now we are being oppressed. Jacob must prevail. And how can I say this now? Through the death and resurrection of the Mashiyach, you have prevailed. You see, so the blessing now, because right now Esau or the adversary has the blessing. Right now, we're the tail. We're supposed to be the head. And again, this is where redemption comes in at. Am I missing something? 2 minutes?
No,
Can I explain it another way or something?
it just seemed like, I'm sorry.
He was asking what happened to the part that Isaac gave him. But Jacob was going to get that anyway because that had been prophesied to Rebekah when they were in the womb.
Right.
But if it was Esau's, because he was the firstborn, then how was it Jacob to get at any point?
Well, no, he actually gave it to him.
So,
Who gave what to him?
That's just like me. Let's say if I have a
But
birthright.
you couldn't give it. You can't give someone something that's not yours.
No, I mean, Esau actually gave it to Jacob.
But you can't give. Morgan, the son of us.
He said you can't sell it.
You can't sell it or give it. How can you? If you can sell it, how can you give it?
Let's see. First of all, what is a birthright?
It's something that comes to somebody who came out the firstborn.
The firstborn.
Right.
It's the firstborn or inherited.
Right.
If something is given to me, even if it's inherited, I have the right to do what I want. I can give it away.
But you can't sell it?
He said there's no way in scripture where you can find where you can sell a birthright for
Yeah.
pottage.
Because we need examples here. We need examples. Can you
You
show
can sell
me?
it for money. You can sell it for money.
But remember, the scripture says that the first, this woman, she's a virgin. The first son that opens the matrix
Right.
is a firstborn.
Right.
That's the heir. That's the big one. That's the bigger. That's first fruits.
Right.
We have a situation now where with Jacob now, through manipulation, he stole that. It's just like, your truck that you have.
Mm-hmm.
If I was to steal that from you, get up paperwork and everything like that and drive back to Jersey with it, You come now and say, listen, you know what? I am the legal heir of that truck. Here's my contract stating that that's my truck because Salabah stole my truck. Wouldn't your claim or your title to the truck be more valid than mine, being that I stole it? I stole your truck.
Right.
Went to Jersey, got paperwork, and I'm driving around in your truck. You find out now that, listen, this is where he is. I am the. It's just like with anything. This goes on all the time. If I go live in a house or anything, the rightful heir, according to paperwork, is the owner of that possession. No matter what. There's nothing that I can do. I can't make an agreement with anybody else regarding your property.
It's like, the thing is, it's a birthright, and so you can't change what order you were born in. So how can you sell an actual birthright if you were born first? You can't be born second.
So the question is then, why did Jacob, under the name of supplanter, why did he do that? Why was Jacob acting as an adversary? Why didn't he?
Because they were thinking, or Rebecca was thinking that she had to intervene.
I don't see anywhere where it said that she needed to do that.
Right. I'm not saying that she
Right.
needed to do it either, but how can something be actually, quote unquote, given to someone if it's something that you can't really give?
Can we do this?
Okay.
Can we do this? We wasted a whole lot of time. We're going to have to go back after this, all right? Because Asa has a lot more to go. We have, about 5 minutes now? 7 minutes, okay. A very important question was asked last week. Why didn't Jacob know that he went into Leah? Okay, this was one of your questions last week. Why didn't Jacob know that he went into Leah and not Rachel while in the bridal chamber? Let's go to the book of Bereshit, the 29th chapter, verse 22.
Maury, his answer to this question is, even when you look at Reuben being the firstborn, it wasn't a selling thing, but Joseph became the firstborn.
Exactly. You can lose your 29, Genesis 29, Genesis 29, 22. My apologies. That should have stopped a long time ago. Genesis 29, 22. Again, a question was asked last week. Why didn't Jacob know that he went into Leah and not Rachel while in the bridal chamber? My argument last week is that Jacob was drunk as a skunk. All right? Genesis 29, 22. The word, it said, Laban gathered together all the men of the place and made a feast. Look up that word feast. That word feast is not hog. It's not hog. Let's find out what that word means. Actually, the word is, oh boy, what happened here? The word is mishtah. Mishtah, it means a feast, it means drink, it means banquet, it means feast, banquet, it means drink. In the Brown's Roberts Briggs, it means drink, by implication, drinking, a banquet of drinking. You look at some of the root words for this word here. The Strong's number 8543 is the word shatah. It means to drink, of drinking of Elohim's wrath or slaughter or wicked deeds. In the foul sense, it means to be drunk. In the Brown's Roberts Briggs, it says a banquet means to be drink, to be drunk. We go to another root word, 8243, shakah. It means to give, to drink, to irrigate, to drink water, drink water, cause to drink water. The Hafel system means to water, to irrigate, to water, to give, drink, to be water, variance, to be drunk, drunkards, drunk. That's 4 minutes, okay. Now I'm going to look at the book of Josephus. I'm going to go to page 41. Let's see if we can get some more clarity on this, some witnesses to this here. Genesis 49, the book of Josephus, page 41, it says, regarding Jacob and and Rachel, the whole situation there, Leah and Rachel says, and when Jacob had given consent to this, he agreed to stay 7 years. For so many years he had resolved to serve his father-in-law, that having given a specimen of his virtue, it might be better to know what sort of man he was. And Jacob, accepting of his terms, after the time was over, he made the wedding feast. And when it was night, without Jacob perceiving it, he put his other daughter in bed to him, who was both elder and older than Rachel, and of no comely countenance. Jacob laid with her that night, as being both in drink or drunk, and in the dark.
Go ahead, bro.
In the dark. And so, looking at the 4 Strong's numbers that I gave, looking at some history behind some of the writings of Josephus, the reason why is because he was drunk. And I remember even Chief Zacchaeus had brought out one of the examples that we've seen the situation happen even with Lot and his daughters, is that they had gotten him drunk for the purpose of bringing forth children, because they thought that everybody had died during that time here. So that's about it. That's all we have. 2 minutes. So what I'm going to do is, anybody have any questions, and we can just, at the 2-minute mark, we'll cut it, and then we'll just continue on with this thing here, because this whole thing about Jacob and Esau and the blessings, I just want to make sure that everybody has a clear understanding of that. If there's any questions, anything that I've missed, I love the questions. I just want to make sure that I'm as thorough as possible, making sure that there's no misunderstandings here.
Even in the case of Isaac and Esau, where you look, Isaac and Ishmael, where you see where something, Yahuah goes and tell him he's going to do something, but when they go and step in place of Yahuah, there ends up being a problem, like he told Abraham that Isaac was going to inherit it, but now you see Esau over in the land now, where it was supposed to be for Isaac, but Esau's over there now.
Right, exactly.
I mean, not Esau, what's his name? Ishmael.
Mm-hmm.
He has the land just the same way it was Jacob, but the angel came to Jacob, the Malachi, and told Jacob change his name.
Right.
But in our situation, he's still in the land. It has not been changed yet, but we know we are the people of the land. But you see, when you go ahead of Yahuah and try to do it yourself, you always cause a problem.
Right, exactly. Exactly. Any more questions with that? Because yeah, I just want to make sure that is as clear as possible. We had some more, but I guess I'll just finish that up next week. And again, in ending, I pray that everybody's able to see that Rebecca complained about her conception.
And I found out something else tomorrow. It says, while the younger brother of the family may not be the firstborn, they become the head spiritual leader of the respective family when they're married to that home. See, the oldest always cares for the daughter to make sure she's married, and he also takes care of the mother until she dies as well. This is the firstborn. This is his job that he has. He's given the land, but at the same time, he has all the responsibility.
Hallelujah. Okay. Right. Exactly.